Hi, so this is Correctum Technical. I'd like to make this video as an introduction to the channel. Here I'm starting a channel free of commercial influence. It is not infotainment. It is not formatted in any way to sell anything. This channel is not about politics, and I am not here to stir up stupid discussions. I'm not here to influence you, and I don't do this for social clout. In fact, I deleted my socials because that type of a person makes me sick. I got absolutely tired of ripping those people a new one because 100 more of those narcissistic, stupid, morally reprehensible, rude, just generally pathetic, shitty people just seem to pop up every day. They're constantly popping up on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, maybe even Truth Social. I don't really go on there too much. And the other social media sites. They're just stupid, pathetic people that have nothing to say and stuff. They just provoke. They just bait post constantly, either intentionally or not intentionally. They don't realize when they're joking. That it's just and frankly, they do a lot of this toxic stuff here too. They give out a lot of this bad information, which I'll be going into later. I think. Oh, so they give unclear, overly wordy, meaning like so the information they give is unclear. The information they give is overly wordy, meaning that they. Am I going to run out of time here? No. Meaning that they, like if they're saying 20 things, they're using 1,000 words for it, or 35 or 50. It's just it wastes time, it wastes energy, and it's a sign of stupidity. They're unexplicit and stuff, so they miss important details. Their terms they're using are not encapsulating. These terms just don't, like, they think they're saying something, but they're not really saying it often. They're illogical. The statements just seem to be too easy to pick apart and stuff. The statements aren't groundable. I find it hard to research what they're saying to affirm or deny. They're not thorough. They're filtered. They're curated and stuff with like these half truths. A lot of this profit driven motive seems to just make all of it suck. Frankly, it becomes ineffective. It's not genuinely educational. So yeah, in light of those people, I made this. Now, this channel is not here to sell my personality, my personal brand. I'm not your leader, and I don't try to be. I'm trying to answer a problem here. This channel is here for real purpose, but to be honest, I'm using a script to speak in this channel because I don't want to have to edit out places where I stop talking. So if it looks like I'm fake, I apologize. I really did write this, but it's a script, and I need the script to avoid excessive pauses and lots of ums and likes. Now, what is the purpose of this channel? It's to address a real emergency and a real crisis in this country, and in fact, multiple crises. To give a backstory, a long time ago, I read the book of Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I first read that when I was about 10. I saw the 2003 movie, and some years later, I saw the 1960s adaptation, specifically 1960, which is practically a page-for-page adaptation film. In another time before the 1960 movie, I saw the movie Idiocracy. One day, while I was thinking about these very high-quality movies, I noted a commonality: the Eloi and humanity in the 2500s. These Eloi, they've become the species incapable of object manipulation, and they've ignored education. Yes, they become 1,000 other things, but I'm focusing on these details specifically and stuff. I did not say they didn't only become these species. Do not confuse the two. Their language has devolved into concrete terms, and they cannot read the books they ignored, even if they weren't brought down to powder. But it's clear that the lack of information in both Idiocracy and the Time Machine were the reason why those societies collapsed. Except Idiocracy was a reference to life in the present day. It was an intelligent, and I don't say that as a joke. It was an intelligent person's view on what the world looked like with its stupidities magnified. That led me to realize that the United States has already become like Idiocracy, largely due to the actions of leaders over time. The more I looked over time, I noticed more and more that our country was irreversibly collapsing into a very low equilibrium point where only minimal resources, material, etc. would be there for a very small amount of people due to the non-contributing, unfocused, uncoordinated population of over 100 million people that had been created over time by this country's leaders that have successively taken power. Not just politicians, other centers of other people who control centers of influence. Maybe it's around 100 people. But it could be probably around 2000 as well. That being said, the US, most especially the middle class and below, has irreversible problems in the following fields: education, finance, environment and the biosphere, traffic and transportation, work and economics. And on work and economics, resources are being used up faster than they are made. Work effectiveness is lacking. Job supply is abysmal. Companies are overly concerned with profits, and it permeates everything, along with quite a few more things. The problems in science, the problems of science is going to get its own video and stuff, because science is, for the most part, completely dysfunctional and commercialized and yada yada. I'm going to say politics as well, political policy. Public health, performance and functional medicine. Performance and functional medicine are virtually non-existent, which has led to, this irreversible collapse. We have our culture is suffering, and we have quite a littering of unhealthy personalities. Speaking of unhealthy, we also have unhealthy views and obsession over religion, authority, fighting, and etc. Everything is breaking, such as roads. I know we talk about transportation, but I want to talk, but that there's a larger issue there. Everything is breaking, such as the roads, and it's breaking much faster than it's being replaced. So I'm not trying to say that understanding of academics is going to be the source of the problem, fix our problem with informational flow. It's also because of what's going on with the trades, unfortunately, and other skilled labor. And we will be talking about problems with work as well, to try to mitigate this as much as possible. And that's the goal of the channel, to mitigate this as much as possible. Now, for a lot of people, I've used up a lot of their time, so I'm going to cut it short here. This is, I think, pretty encapsulatory of what this channel is about. If I need to make a follow-up episode, I will do it. But yeah, if you watch this, I appreciate your time, and thank you. Goodbye.